Okay, so for the next installment, we're going to put the seat that runs around the edge of this floor slash roof. So if we take a look at that, we have an edge condition here that looks like this. So if I scroll to this 3D view, and let's zoom out, you can see that edge kind of going all the way around that entire front, so you can look out onto the water. So if we go back to that original with the person sitting, I'm going to go into my level 2 plan, and I've placed the plan in level 2 so we can see these offsets with distances. And we're just going to pull the floor back to here and create sort of this piece in here in between the wall and the floor itself. Okay, so I'm going to minimize that guy. And I'm going to go into my level 2. And I've placed and scaled the image in here. If you don't remember how to do that, there's a scaling image at the beginning of this series. And I've put some distances, I put some grid lines in and some distances. So that's 400 millimeters and that's 1360. So the first thing I'm going to do is select my floor and offset it by 1360. So if I select my floor and I go to Edit Boundary, it gives me the magenta boundary of that floor, and I can use the offset tool up here. So if I select offset, it asks me for an offset distance, and we want that to be 1360, right? And if I come in and select the floor, it'll offset it depending on which side I'm picking. So when I'm on that side of the line, it goes to the outside, and when I'm on this side of the line, it goes to the inside. So if I left click, it's placing a magenta line right there. And I can do the same thing here. There's that magenta line, and the same thing here. So now I have those lines on the interior, and I just need to make this into a closed loop. So I'm going to trim these two corners right here using the trim command. I can come in and pick this line and that line, and it will trim that off. And then I'll come over here and pick this line and that line, and it'll trim that off. And now I just need to delete these lines along the edge. So I'm going to go to Modify to stop the trim command, and I'm going to highlight this and delete it, and delete it, and delete it. Now, if I Control Z back, it was mentioned in class by someone that the span line had been deleted with this line, and that was correct. So for example, this is indicating how this floor is spanning, and when I delete it, it goes away. But what I'm going to do in this case is I'm going to go to span direction, and I'm going to pick that line, and it'll place it back right there. So once I've done that, I'm just going to hit check and say yes, and then detach the targets. Click OK, and it'll detach the targets. Now, if I go to V3, look at the 3D view, now I've got an offset. Now, in the next video, what I'm going to do is create a sweep around the edge of this that is the shape of that seat.